Hi everybody, welcome to my channel today. I'm sharing another layout for Spiegel Mom Scraps. Well, I should say a project for Spiegel Mom Scraps. So this is my second week designing for them as a guest designer for the month of March. And so I have their lovely sequins to work with. And so I decided that instead of doing cards this week, that I was going to incorporate them onto a layout. So I decided to build a sort of shaker. So I'm using the Pink Paisley and Paige Evans Turn the Page collection. And so from the ephemera pack, there are some frames, some die cut frames. And so that's what I'm going to use to create my actual shaker. So the actual frame itself is going to act as my base, and then I'm going to build around that. So you saw me there that I had adhered a piece of acetate, so that's going to act as my window. And now I'm choosing a piece of paper from the 6x6 collection that's going to act as my background. And so I'm going to use that yellow sheet, but before I do that, I am going to create the, I guess, the guts or the frame of the shaker piece. So I'm just using some dimensional foam here, and this one here is it's sticky on one side, and so I just found it easier to do it with the sticky kind for this project because it's easier, right? So I don't have to like glue everything down and wait for things to wait. I could just start adhering right away. I could start building right away. Excuse me. So I chose this yellow paper, and I'm just going to choose the lighter side of it for the background of the paper. Yeah, so you're going to see what I do here. So that's just going to be the backing for it, and it's going to be what shows through behind the actual sequins. So the sequins collection that I decided to use for the shaker is called Hello Colorful You. And so it's a great mix of pinks and oranges and blues, and there's some peach in there as well. And all those colors work really, really well with this collection. And that is why actually I chose this collection, was because I already knew going into it what worked together. So there I am, just putting my shaker under something a little heavy and giving it some time to dry. And so these are the 12 by 12 papers from the collection, well, some of them anyway. And I'm just going to gut this pink sheet of paper here, and that I'm going to mat a piece of 12 by 12 paper. So it's going to be like a framed kind of background sheet. So I took about not a quarter inch, I took about half an inch off of two sides of the aqua minty kind of paper, and so that gives me enough room around to create like a good sized frame. And so there I go. So here's where I decided that I was going to try to pry it up, and then because I put it on there kind of crooked, and it had actually stuck on pretty good, so I was like, Matt, I'm just going to leave it because I had to. Otherwise I would have wrecked everything. Yeah, so now I'm using some papers to mat my photo, and this photo is of my daughter, my oldest daughter, and myself, and this was taken at Niagara Falls. And this was at Niagara Falls, like on Clifton Hill, has like a mini golf kind of area, and it's like dinosaur themed. So they have like these legit dinosaurs around this golf area. It's like mini golf, like putt-putt golf. Sorry guys, I keep coughing because I'm pretty sure I'm sick. I don't want to admit it, but I'm under the weather. But by the time you guys watch this, hopefully I'll be better. So what was I saying? Yeah, so you don't have to go into the mini golf section to see the dinosaurs. They're out there. There's a few of them that are pretty close to the edge. And so my daughter loves that when we go to Niagara Falls that we have to go see the dinosaurs. She doesn't even really realize that it's for golfing and she just wants to see the dinosaurs. So I snapped this picture of her and we have this dinosaur in the back, in the background. So there you see my shaker, and I'm going to apologize right now for the glare. It stays throughout the entire video, and that is because of the, number one, the acetate from the shaker element, and number two, because my photo was printed glossy. So I apologize in advance, and I hope it doesn't bother you guys too much. So here I'm choosing another frame from the ephemera pack, and I'm just going to start building like my base for embellishing. So I start off with that frame. It's really colorful as well, but it's kind of muted, if that makes sense. And so what am I going to do here now? Oh, I think I'm going to start to work on my title, and I spotted this piece, this tag looking piece. And so inside the sticker book, it said something like new adventures. What does it say? See if I can read it. Here's to new adventures, something like that. But that's not what I wanted my title to be. So I stole the adventures part and cut around it. And I made it adventure because I removed the S. And I stuck it there on the tag. And so I want my title to read, "Let the Adventure Begin." So I had said to my husband when my kids were born that, you know, I really want them to have incredible memories of them growing up. You know, mom and dad took us here and mom and dad took us there and we saw this and we did this, because that's the kind of childhood that I had. And my parents, although weren't well off, we didn't know that, first of all. And second of all I remember was the memories. So my dad would take us camping and to Canada's Wonderland, and we went to Niagara Falls very often, and there was a ton of videos to document that. My dad always had like a camera or like a video recorder. Remember those huge ones? My dad had one of those. And so we loved, you know, recording and like documenting our family outings. And I remember especially during the summertime, we always did things, whether it was camping or fishing or Marineland. For those of you who live in Ontario know what that is. We did a whole bunch of stuff. And so I want my kids to have that same kind of memories. So, you know, I know that they're little right now, but you know, the photos document what we've done. And, you know, I'm sorry. My daughter still remembers when we took her to Mexico at age 2 and Jamaica at age 3. So, I mean, it kind of blows my mind that her being so little remembers these events in her own life. Now, I know that as time passes by, she will forget these things, but, you know, because they're relatively recent in her mind, you know, she remembers them, and she always talks about these, you know, the plane ride and the event and the beach and the play area and all that fun stuff. So that's what I want for my kids. So to create my title, like I said, I used that adventure part. And I also took the thickers from the collection, and those are called New Day. And I also took the small navy alpha that's in the sticker sheet and created my title that says, "Let the Adventure Begin." So now I'm creating my clusters. And so the ephemera I still had pretty much intact. I feel like I didn't use this collection too much. Like it's in really good shape. I have still like a lot of like the journaling spots and the ephemera and a lot of the stickers and chipboard and stuff. So I'm thankful about that I didn't dig into it too much, because that means that I can use it now. And since I didn't buy too much of the latest stuff that came out, I got Flourish and I got whatchamacallit, the new Paige Evans one. But it didn't go nuts, and I'm really proud of myself that, you know, I didn't go nuts, because old Lena would have just bought everything, and I'll be honest, there's no reason for it, right? Like, I mean, I was buying things just to have them, not because I was like in love with the collection, or, you know, I didn't buy just a piece here and a piece there. I just needed to have everything because I could. Do you know what I mean? So enough of that. You know, I have a lot of stuff sitting and I need to use it, and I say this in every video. So I've created my cluster there with the floral, and I popped up that little coral looking heart, and I put that like paper airplane on it, and I think that looks so adorable. I just love the way that turned out. And I also added that little bird to the top left hand corner of the shaker element. And now I'm going to cut out these banner pieces. Now I really should have cut this out of my video, but I don't know why I didn't. But I'm making you watch here, and I apologize for that. I could have cut some of it out, at least a couple minutes. But they didn't take me too long to cut out. They were they're wonky banners. They're not straight line, but I mean, these are basic cuts, so it was okay. So I decided that I want to use these banners. The only thing that was throwing me off was that red piece there, because I at this point I don't have too much red in the layout. And so, and it's like a reddish orange. It's like it's a red orange. So I needed to find pieces that were going to work with it. Ultimately, I decided to use it, as you'll see now, and I end up popping it up to give it a bit of dimension. And so it sticks up a little higher than the other two banners to the left and right of it. And now I'm going to look through my stash and see where I could add another red, what red piece I'm going to add to my layout. And so I look through the chipboard piece again, the chipboard piece. Those chipboard thickers they're thickers, first of all, and second of all, they're called Fresh Start. And so I love those. So I really want to use that red and pink heart, but it does not make it to the layout. Instead, I went with something really small, but nonetheless, it works, right? So I just needed a pop of red, another pop of red there. Oh, so it was the red heart. Okay, so I'm happy then. So I used the red and pink heart, and I just tucked it behind the bird. I couldn't remember what I used. I thought it was the acorn, but I guess not. So yeah, that red heart made it to the layout. So here's where I pick pieces from the Rainbow Bright collection of sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I'm sticking down some red pieces and some orange pieces to my layout, and I'm doing it the easiest way possible, and that is with my hot glue gun. So I just put a tiny little dab on it, on the piece of sequins, and stick it right down, and they don't move. Like, I found that when I was using my Scotch Quick Dry or even my Tombow Mono, they'd pop off. So, and glossy accents, if you don't watch where you're putting it, you get glossy bits everywhere, and I did not want that. Here I'm taking some Heidi Shine, and it's in the gold, and just adding a couple extra bit of love to my layout. Excuse me. And that's it for my layout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You'll see at the end of the video that there will be annotations in the video, so if you want to check out my latest videos, you can click directly on there if you're on a computer. I thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Big hugs to you all. Bye.